You know that feeling when you've done everything right? You've nailed your fasting window, stayed strict with your keto meals, you're hitting your macros perfectly, yet the scale refuses to budge, your energy's dipping, cravings are sneaking back in, and you're left wondering, why? What else can I possibly do? I see this all the time, and I've been there myself. You're doing the right things, fasting, staying low carb, cutting sugar, but somehow your body's just not responding the way it used to. It's frustrating because you start to question whether your metabolism's broken or whether fasting has stopped working altogether. But here's the truth that almost nobody talks about. It's not the carbs, it's not even the calories. It's a single protein mistake that silently blocks fat burning. And this mistake doesn't just slow results. It actually flips your metabolism from burn mode into store mode, even when you're fasting. What's wild is that it's not about how much protein you eat, it's about when and how you eat it. The timing of your protein can literally decide whether your body taps into stored fat or clings onto it. I learned this the hard way, and once I fixed this one small detail, my fat loss sped up instantly. So I want you to think about this. Have you ever followed your fasting routine perfectly, only to feel like nothing's changing? Because if you have, you might be making the same hidden protein mistake that's keeping your body stuck in fat storage mode, even while you're doing everything right. There comes a point in every fat loss journey where it feels like the body just hits pause. You're fasting, you're eating clean, maybe even training consistently, but suddenly your body stops responding. It's not that you're doing something wrong, it's that your body has gotten too good at protecting you. Let's think of your metabolism as your car's engine. When you first start fasting or going keto, that engine revs high, it's burning through stored fat efficiently. But if your body senses that fuel, seafood, protein, energy isn't coming in regularly or predictably, it slowly starts pressing on the energy brake. It's your body's way of saying, wait, I'm not sure when the next meal is coming. I need to conserve. This is where most people unknowingly trip up. They're eating healthy, but their protein timing is inconsistent, sometimes too little, sometimes too late, sometimes not at all after fasting. And that inconsistency sends mixed messages to your metabolism. Protein, or more specifically, the amino acids that come from it, are your body's main signal for growth, repair, and metabolic activity. When those signals drop too low for too long, your body interprets it as famine. That's when leptin, your body's fat-burning permission hormone, starts to drop. Leptin tells your brain that you're fed and safe to burn fat. When leptin drops, your hunger spikes, your cravings come roaring back, and fat loss halts. Meanwhile, cortisol, your stress hormone, rises, which tells your body to hold onto fat as a safety mechanism. Add in insulin sensitivity fluctuating from meal timing mistakes, and suddenly your body's fat-burning machinery gets sluggish. You might think cutting calories harder will fix it, but in reality, under-eating protein or skipping that first protein hit after fasting makes things worse. Your body becomes hesitant to burn stored fat because it's trying to preserve muscle and energy at all costs. It's survival mode, not burn mode. Here's a simple way to visualize it. Imagine your metabolism as a fire. When you fast, you're allowing that fire to clear out old logs, stored fat. But once you break the fast, the type of food you throw onto that fire determines what happens next. If you add too little protein, or if you delay it for too long, the fire doesn't reignite properly. It flickers and dims. Your body lowers the flame to preserve what's left. But if you feed it the right type of protein at the right time, it's like throwing a clean log back onto the fire. It keeps burning strong, consistent, and efficient. Now, think about what happens hormonally during this energy break phase. Your thyroid may slow slightly, insulin sensitivity may temporarily dip, and your hunger hormones like ghrelin start yelling louder because your body is trying to restore balance. It's not sabotaging you, it's protecting you. The body doesn't want to waste precious energy if it's not sure when it's getting more nutrients. That's why so many people say, I was losing fat for weeks and then everything just stopped. The real reason isn't just a calorie issue, it's a protein signal issue. When the body doesn't get consistent amino acid input, it assumes scarcity and locks down fat burning. So if you've ever felt like your progress has stalled, even though your discipline hasn't, this is your wake-up call. It's not your willpower. It's your biology. Your metabolism is waiting for a consistent cue, a message from you that says it's safe to burn. And that cue comes through protein timing. The most common reason people stall on keto and fasting isn't sugar sneaking into their meals. It's actually protein missing from them. You can be doing everything right, fasting for 18 hours, eating clean, sticking to keto-approved foods, but if you're not getting enough protein during your eating window, your body quietly starts working against you. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes: they break their fast with fat instead of protein. Maybe it's a bulletproof coffee, some avocado, or a handful of nuts, all technically keto, right? But here's what happens on the inside. Your body has just spent hours fasting, breaking down old cells, recycling energy, and cleaning house. It's primed and ready to rebuild. The first thing it needs to rebuild lean tissue, enzymes, and hormones is amino acids from protein. When it doesn't get them right away, it assumes it's still in scarcity mode. And that's when muscle preservation becomes the priority, not fat burning. Muscle is your metabolic engine. It's the tissue that burns calories even when you're resting. When protein is too low or too late, your body slowly starts tapping into that muscle for energy. Less muscle means a slower metabolism, which means slower fat loss. That's why you might notice that over time, your fasting results fade or your energy tanks after meals. High-fat keto, the way most people do it, can make this even worse. You feel full because fat is satisfying, but it doesn't send the same metabolic signal as protein. Fat tells your body, energy's here, but protein tells your body, build, repair, and burn. You need both, but the F ratio and F timing matter. A protein-focused keto approach keeps your body in a fat-burning state while protecting muscle and stabilizing hunger hormones. Let's make this more concrete. Here's what this mistake looks like in a real day of eating. You wake up, fast until noon, great. Then you break your fast with a coffee blended with butter and MCT oil. You're thinking, I'm keeping it clean, still fasting vibes. But no protein yet. 2 hours later, you grab a salad with a few pieces of chicken or a small omelet, still light on protein. Dinner rolls around, and maybe it's a fatty steak or keto casserole, but you're already behind on your protein target. You finish the day feeling on plan, but metabolically, your body only got one real hit of amino acids, and that's not enough to keep fat burning consistently. Now, compare that to a protein-first approach. You break your fast with 25-40 grams of protein, maybe eggs and salmon, or a lean meat broth with collagen and some healthy fats on the side. You've immediately given your body the amino acids it needs to protect muscle and trigger the metabolic switch that says, we're safe, we can burn fat now. Throughout your eating window, you prioritize hitting your protein target first, then fill in with fats for satiety. Same macros overall, but the results are night and day. When people make this small change, protein first, fat second, they often notice their fasting gets easier, their hunger fades, and they start dropping inches again. It's not because they're eating more or less, it's because they're finally sending the right hormonal signal to the body. Most people doing keto and fasting think they're eating enough protein because they're eating real food. But when they actually track it, they're shocked. Many women only hit 40-60 grams a day when their bodies need nearly double that to preserve lean mass and stay metabolically active. So I'll ask you honestly, do you track your protein intake, or are you just eating keto and hoping it works out? Because that's the moment the magic starts, when you stop guessing and start fueling your body with precision. Your body doesn't need extreme fasting or calorie cuts. It needs consistent, well-timed protein signals that tell it, you're safe, you're fed, and it's time to burn fat. If you've ever felt like your fat loss has stalled, even though you're fasting, cutting carbs, and staying consistent, I want you to hear this. You do not need to fast longer, eat less, or push harder. You just need to change one simple thing. Start every meal with protein first. This single shift, what I call the protein first rule, has helped thousands of people reignite their metabolism after hitting the dreaded plateau. It's not about eating more food, it's about sending the right signal to your body at the right time. Here's how it works. Protein is the most metabolically active nutrient. It takes more energy to digest, boosts thermogenesis, and directly supports lean muscle repair. But even more importantly, it controls your hormonal response to food. When you eat protein first, you blunt the insulin spike that normally happens with other foods. Your blood sugar stays stable, cravings disappear, and your body gets the message, we're fed, safe, and ready to burn fat. Think of protein like a light switch for your metabolism. When you eat it first, you flip that switch on. When you skip it or delay it, the light stays dim. Your metabolism drags, your hunger creeps in, and your body holds onto energy instead of using it. Here's what this looks like in practice. Let's say you've been doing 16 and 8 fasting. The moment your eating window opens, instead of reaching for coffee with cream or keto fat bombs, you start with a solid protein source. That could be 3 eggs with a bit of salmon, or a protein shake with 30 grams of whey isolate and collagen. The key is to give your body a clean, fast, digesting protein hit right away. This tells your muscles to stay strong, your thyroid to stay active, and your metabolism to stay fired up. Then, about 15-20 minutes later, add your fats and fiber, maybe some avocado, olive oil, or a handful of nuts with your meal. Notice how much steadier your energy feels afterward. No crash, no cravings, no fog. You've just taught your body how to burn efficiently again, without starving yourself or extending your fasts. From a numbers standpoint, a good baseline for most women is around 100-120 grams of protein per day, and for men, 130-160 grams, though it can vary by size, activity, and goals. Split that evenly across your meals, and if you're fasting, make sure your first meal covers at least 30-40 grams. That's enough to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, the process that keeps your metabolism humming. Now, I know that can sound like a lot if you're not used to tracking, but here's the beautiful part. You don't have to overthink it. Just follow the protein first rule every time you eat: eggs, meat, seafood, protein powder, Greek yogurt, whatever fits your plan. Get that protein in first, then fill in with fats or carbs. You'll feel the difference within days: more energy, tighter skin, and steady fat loss, even without changing your calories. I've seen this happen countless times. People who've been stuck for months suddenly start dropping inches again just by rearranging the order of their meals. It's that powerful. You're not adding restriction, you're adding structure. You're giving your body what it's been craving all along: consistent, predictable amino acid signals that keep it in burn mode. And here's the best part: once your metabolism feels safe, your body relaxes. Cortisol drops, leptin stabilizes, and insulin sensitivity improves. That's when fasting starts working again. You start burning fat faster, not by eating less, but by eating smarter. So this week, I want you to try it. Just one day, go protein first with every meal or snack. Notice how your hunger changes. Notice your energy. Notice how your body responds. Here's the truth that almost nobody on keto or fasting ever talks about. When you eat your protein is just as important as how much you eat. You could hit your perfect protein target every day, but if the timing is off, if your body doesn't get those amino acids when it needs them most, your results can completely stall. See, your body doesn't just use protein for muscle, it uses it to regulate metabolism, hormones, and recovery. Every time you eat protein, you trigger something called muscle protein synthesis, the process of building and repairing lean tissue. Think of it like flipping on a metabolic switch. But here's the catch: that switch only stays active for a few hours. After that, if you go too long without another protein hit, your body turns the switch off again. That's why protein timing is everything. The goal isn't just to eat protein, it's to time it so your body stays in that active, rebuilding state for as much of the day as possible. Because when your body's rebuilding muscle, it's automatically burning more fat. Let's talk about what happens during fasting. When you're fasting, your body shifts into repair mode, cleaning out damaged cells and tapping into fat for energy. But the moment you break that fast, your metabolism is like a sponge. It's ready to soak up nutrients and use them efficiently. If you feed it protein first thing after fasting, you give it exactly what it needs to repair, rebuild, and keep burning. But if you delay that protein or break your fast with just fats or coffee, you waste that metabolic window. The result, a slower, less responsive metabolism over time. Now, let's compare two common scenarios. Scenario 1, you fast until noon, but your first meal is coffee with cream or some nuts. You don't get any real protein until dinner. That means your body has gone maybe 20 hours without an amino acid signal. It's still in preserve mode. Your muscle repair is on pause, your metabolism has cooled off, and your fat burning engine is idling low. Scenario 20, you fast until noon, then break your fast with 30-40 grams of protein, maybe eggs and smoked salmon or a lean beef stir fry. Within minutes, your body starts repairing lean tissue, increasing energy output and producing enzymes that help oxidize fat. You've just turned on muscle protein synthesis, and that process alone keeps your metabolism active for hours afterward. That's why timing matters so much. It's not just what you eat during your window. It's when you send that first signal. For shorter fasts, like 16 and 8, aim to eat protein right at the start of your eating window. For longer fasts, say 20 hours or alternate day fasting, that first meal becomes even more crucial. Your body's been in a heightened repair state, and now it's waiting for raw materials. Feed it protein immediately, and you'll multiply your results. Delay it, and you'll blunt your body's ability to stay in burn mode. And what about eating late versus early? Here's what research and experience both show. Your metabolism tends to be most responsive to protein earlier in the day. Eating your main protein meal earlier stabilizes blood sugar, lowers evening cravings, and gives your body more daylight hours to process and rebuild. Eating most of your protein too late can make you sluggish the next morning because your body is trying to digest when it should be winding down. So if you've ever noticed that eating earlier gives you more energy, or that your fasting days feel easier when you break fast before evening, that's not in your head. That's your metabolism thanking you for working with your circadian rhythm instead of against it. Here's the formula I teach. Break your fast with protein immediately. Aim for at least 30 grams. Space your next protein meals about 46 hours apart to re-trigger muscle synthesis. Finish your day with a smaller protein hit, not your largest. This keeps your metabolism running strong during the day and lets your body rest at night. Once you start timing your protein this way, you'll notice your fasting feels smoother, your strength improves, and your fat loss feels effortless again. It's not magic. It's simply biology responding to better timing. Here's what most people never realize about fat loss plateaus. They're not just about calories or fasting windows, they're hormonal roadblocks. And the beautiful thing is, protein is the single most effective way to clear those roadblocks without adding more restriction. Think about it. When you're fasting or cutting back too hard, your body starts releasing more cortisol, your stress hormone. Cortisol's job is to keep you alert and protect you during times of perceived scarcity. But here's the catch. Too much cortisol over time keeps your blood sugar elevated, slows down fat burning, and triggers cravings for quick energy foods. It's your body's way of saying, feed me something fast. That's when you find yourself craving bread, chocolate, or even overeating on keto snacks. Not because you're weak, but because your hormones are trying to protect you. Now, this is where protein comes in as your hormonal reset button. Every time you eat a high-quality protein source, you're sending your body a calming signal. The amino acids from protein help your brain and nervous system relax. They stabilize blood sugar, reduce the cortisol response, and balance insulin all at once. It's like flipping your metabolism from panic mode to peace mode. When your amino acid levels are steady, your body finally feels safe again. It doesn't need to hold onto fat for emergencies. Insulin levels stay stable because protein slows the absorption of glucose and keeps your blood sugar flat. Cortisol naturally drops because your body is no longer under perceived threat. And when cortisol drops, leptin and ghrelin, your hunger hormones, start communicating properly again. You stop having those unpredictable waves of hunger and cravings. Have you ever noticed how much calmer and more in control you feel after a meal with enough protein? That's not just fullness, that's hormonal stability. Your body finally has the nutrients it's been begging for, so it can stop sending emergency hunger signals. When people don't get enough protein, the opposite happens. Cortisol rises, insulin spikes more easily, and blood sugar becomes unstable. That's when you get the crash, fatigue, irritability, brain fog, and cravings that hit out of nowhere. You might try to push through it with willpower, black coffee, or longer fasts, but you can't out-fast or out-willpower your hormones. Your biology always wins. The magic happens when you fix the root cause, your protein rhythm. When your body gets a steady supply of amino acids at the right times, it finally stops overproducing cortisol and insulin. It trusts that more fuel is coming, so it starts burning fat again. Your energy smooths out, your sleep improves, and your mind feels sharper. Sleep, especially, is one of the first places you'll notice the shift. When cortisol is lower at night, your body produces more melatonin, your sleep hormone. You fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling light and rested. And that deeper sleep is when your body releases growth hormone, another fat-burning and muscle-preserving hormone. It's all connected. This is why when clients start prioritizing protein, especially breaking their fasts with it, their entire day feels different. They stop having those 3 p.m. energy crashes. Their cravings disappear. Their fasting windows feel effortless again because their hunger hormones are finally balanced. It's not about eating more food. It's about eating a smarter food. Protein tells your metabolism, we're okay. You can burn fat safely. And when that message gets through, every other system in your body aligns: blood sugar, stress response, sleep quality, mood, and even digestion. The best part, you start feeling like you're back in control. No more guessing, no more white knuckling through cravings. You finally understand your body's rhythm, and you can work with it instead of fighting against it. So next time your cravings hit hard or your fat loss slows down, ask yourself, did I get enough protein today? Because more often than not, that's the missing piece your hormones are waiting for. Once you've broken through your plateau and your fat loss starts moving again, the next goal is keeping it going, not by working harder, but by working smarter. Because true transformation isn't just about losing the fat. It's about building a metabolism that stays strong, balanced, and resilient for life. And the secret to that long-term success is simple: stay consistent with your protein blueprint. When you start prioritizing protein, your body begins to trust you again. It learns that it's safe to burn fat because nutrients are coming in predictably. Now the key is to keep sending that message, even as you adjust your fasting windows or daily meals. Think of it like building a rhythm your body can rely on. The more consistent your protein signals are, the more effortlessly your metabolism stays elevated. Here's how to do it. Once your results start showing, don't cut your protein back. Keep your intake steady, around 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight, and let your fasting schedule be flexible around it. You can cycle your fasting lengths, doing some days at 16:8, others at 18:6, and maybe one day of a shorter fast if your energy feels lower. This pattern keeps your body responsive instead of adaptive. It prevents the slowdown that happens when your body gets too used to one routine. The second piece of this blueprint is muscle maintenance. You don't have to be in the gym for hours to protect your lean tissue. Even light strength work, body weight training, resistance bands, or walking after meals helps your body use that protein effectively. Remember, muscle is your fat burning engine. The more you maintain it, the higher your baseline metabolism stays even when you're resting or sleeping. Now, let's talk about hormones, because this is where most people lose momentum. When you've been in fat loss mode for a while, your body naturally tries to stabilize by lowering leptin and thyroid output. That's normal. But when you keep protein consistent, you buffer that slowdown. Protein helps maintain stable insulin, balanced cortisol, and healthy thyroid conversion, all of which keep your metabolism from dipping. Here's a real life example. I once worked with a woman who had been stuck in a plateau for almost 6 months. She was fasting hard, eating clean, doing everything by the book, but her energy was flat and her results were frozen. When she started the protein first strategy, things shifted fast. Within 2 weeks, she was losing inches again. But more importantly, she felt calm, strong, and stable. The real win came later, because this time she didn't rebound. She didn't gain the weight back. Her energy stayed steady. Her mood was balanced. And she could fast naturally without feeling like she was forcing it. That's what sustainable fat loss feels like. It's not about restriction, it's about rhythm. What made the difference was that she built a lifestyle, not another temporary plan. She learned how to listen to her body. If her hunger increased or her sleep got restless, she'd know it was time to increase protein or shorten her fast that day. That flexibility kept her metabolism flexible, too. That's what I want for you, not to chase quick fixes, but to master your own metabolic rhythm. When you stay protein-centered, everything else becomes easier fasting. Energy, mood, sleep, even willpower. Your body finally works with you, not against you. Here's your long-term strategy. Keep protein your non-negotiable at every meal. Adjust fasting windows based on your energy, not fear of eating. Stay active to keep that muscle strong. Refeed with nutrient-dense, protein-rich meals after long fasts. And most importantly, stay consistent, not perfect. Over time, this approach rewires your metabolism for good. You'll notice your body maintaining its leanness naturally without extreme diets or long fasts. You'll have stable energy, deep sleep, and freedom from cravings because your hormones are finally balanced. And if you've made it this far, I know you're serious about making this lifestyle work long term. So here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment below and type PROTN if you want me to put together a 3-week high protein fasting challenge plan. I'll walk you through exactly how to apply everything we've talked about, the timing, the meals, and the rhythm, so you can turn this into your new metabolic lifestyle.